so that I don't get yelled at for being on my phone again.
Absolutely.
This is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy. And you're listening to Knockouts and 3 Count.
What up, though, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. Fuck all that what it do shit that Devin's talking.
Yes,
We're still in Detroit over here. Obviously, as you can see in the studio, there's more than just me in here, so I'm going to pass it around the table. Kev, I'm going to let you introduce our guest since it's your homie.
All right. This is my homeboy Terrence. Terrence, tell him your Instagram, your social media, all of them.
All right. Yo, what's up, my boy? My name is Terrence.
Talking to the mic, dog.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? My name is Terrence. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, really all at the same place. Terrence Matthews. Plain and simple. I keep it simple.
Kyle, throw out your social medias, brother, man.
You can find me at Team Chaos on Facebook. You can find me, Kyle J. Campbell. You can also find my other show, What Kind of Podcast Is This? Everywhere where you listen to podcasts. You can also find our group, What Kind of Podcast Is This, on Facebook.
And you can find me on Facebook at Kevin D. Russ, on Instagram and Twitter at __ Made in the 80s. And subscribe to the Reality Era news page.
Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. On Snapchat, you can find me at the Prodigy T-Mac.
All right. I got you. And, hey, yo, Texan, tell them your fucking social media.
It better not have Cowboys in it.
Texas Longhorns.
You better not have jump ship. If you got an Ezekiel Elliott jersey on, I'm going to kick you in the dick.
Oh, yeah, that's asking.
Hey, man, I still love women, so that'll never happen. You can find me on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINCG63. You can find me on Instagram at All Steak No Sizzle. That's one word. And as Kev said, make sure you check out the Reality Era news page on Facebook.
Right, and last but not least, this is Kyle, the other Kyle, the white Kyle. You can find me at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT. Make sure you're following the show at Knockouts and 3 Counts Podcast on Facebook, at KO3C Pod, Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel. There's more shit coming up there. There's still that episode that we talked about with all the great footage that we had from BCWA. Make sure you're subscribing to it, like it, rate it, share that motherfucker. Knockouts and 3 Counts. Tonight, we've got so much stuff to cover. Obviously, NXT's kind of been out the blocks the last couple weeks with them being on USA, and everything really gets kicked into high gear tomorrow as AEW Dynamite premieres. You've got NXT's going to be on at the same time. Then you got SmackDown going to Friday. You got Impact is going to be coming out on Access tonight. I mean, shit, you've got a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, except nobody's really watching Impact anymore, though.
What'd you say?
Yeah, except nobody's really watching Impact.
I beg to
as much.
differ. I very much so beg to differ.
I didn't say.
There's a
no
reason
more.
that that's why they went to Access.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be a wrestling fan.
Well,
I mean,
well, it's nothing compared to any of the WWE shows. Yeah.
have you watched much of it?
I actually haven't watched it in a while.
Exactly my point.
Devin, what wrestling they talking about down there in the other great state of Texas?
The other great state, because there's two Texases.
No, the other great state. We're the great state. Well, that's the other great state.
Wait. But before we jump into that, I just want to point out that Ant-Man and Wasp, the #9 best Marvel film of the 23. I just want to point that out real quick.
See, random. See, it's not random. It came from another podcast. I listened to it. I was like, okay.
I had to go back.
Shout out to Ms. Marvel.
I recant any statements made on What Kind of Podcast Is This.
You must not watch
It
any
might
Marvel.
Oh shit! Oh,
Hey,
shit.
shout out to Miss Black Marvel.
Shout out to Mark. You gonna get a kick out of that?
All
shit.
right. So obviously, there's a lot to cover tonight, guys. We've got obviously all the things that are mentioned. I think before we get into Hell in a Cell and our preview and picks for all that kind of stuff, let's jump into what we've already seen. We'll go around the table. What are your guys' thoughts so far on what we've seen in the first 2 weeks with NXT going to USA? Would you say that you're pleased with what we've seen, and do you think that it's on par, that it'll stay, like the same good NXT that all of us have been enjoying? Devin, we're going to go with you first because Randy's got the bell over there, but ding, ding, motherfucker, you were there the other day. So tell me what you thought about the show and tell me about your thoughts thus far into USA.
Yeah, on my way back down to Texas, I decided to stop in Memphis and check the NXT show. Anytime NXT does a live show, you guys got to go check it out. It's really good.
Please tell them about that dope-ass main event you told me about.
Oh, man, Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne.
I mean, tell us about that. How was the match? What did you expect? Obviously, that's a pairing that we haven't seen much of. But like I told you when you told me earlier today, I think that's a match that I would fucking love to see. So tell me what you thought on the show, and then give us your thoughts on NXT thus far on USA.
Well, I would imagine that might be the next match for a takeover or a big title match, Roddy and Bruiserweight. So that's probably why they're working it out on the house show right now. One match that I thought was really, really interesting. It started off as Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae, but then it turned into a 6-woman tag with, Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke versus Candice LeRae, Reina Gonzalez, and I can't think of her name right now.
Hey, bro, is she as big as it look on TV?
Who?
What's that?
Reina Gonzalez, girl.
She's just big.
She look cute.
Rhea Ripley.
I fucking love Rhea Ripley, dude. I swear to God, I do. People, dude, I say this all the time, so it's nothing new, but I feel like all those people that are trying to say she's too muscular, you're just scared she'll whoop your ass, bro. Because I hate.
You ain't seen Jordana Grace.
Jordan Grace is hot as fuck.
Jordan Grace.
That's what I'm like. If that's
dude,
too muscular, you ain't seen her.
If you don't look at Rhea Ripley and are too blind to see the fact that woman has a beautiful body, you are I don't know what to tell you.
She put together right.
So, Devin, what are your thoughts on NXT thus far? As far as since they've made the switch, do you think it's kept up to par with what we've seen thus far, or are you, still kind of in limbo?
So far, so good as far as the in-the-ring action. You can't beat NXT as far as in the ring. Two things that two criticisms I have, and one you can't do anything about, is commercials that's kind of throwing me off right now. The fact that they're, having to stop matches and, go to commercial break. I'm not used to it with NXT, so that's throwing me off. And the other thing is, as much as I love the guy, I think he's one of the best announcers in all of combat sports. But
don't you hate on Morrow, you son of a bitch.
Just a little bit, man. He's a little too hyped up. And it's like,
don't you hate on Mauro Ranallo, you son of a bitch.
He haven't said Mamma Mia not one time. You gotta give him that.
He's saving that for the next show.
Hey man, I understand you about the commercials. Honestly, I never get used to commercials. Even shows that always had commercials, I wish we didn't have them. So it's like I'm on a good part right now, and all of a sudden it goes to commercial break. I'm like, no, come on.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the show as a whole so far?
On NXT?
Yeah,
I think it's so far so good. I agree with him. Right now, to me, it's lost some of the steam it used to have. When maybe
in 2 weeks,
Bailey.
What
you about to say? Go ahead.
No, let me finish now.
I know, I got you.
I'm not just talking about this 2 weeks, okay? Because if you mean just the 2 weeks it's been on TV, then it hasn't lost any steam. Of course not. But what I'm talking about is from a certain point in time, it's lost a little bit of steam from when the 4 horsewomen were on there, but it hasn't lost a lot of steam. Ultimately, it's still good, and ultimately, it's doing way better. It's way better wrestling wise than the main roster. So honestly, it's even though that's the development branch, it's honestly now a step down to go to the main roster from NXT. So,
all right, Kevin, what do you think?
Well, I believe that the show is getting better. It's always been good, but it's getting better as they grow. And the whole commercial thing is growing on me too, because just like when SmackDown started going to that mini screen,
the split screen.
Yeah, at first I was like, that's stupid, because you can't, but
I don't really like it because I don't like that you can't hear it. I've never been a big fan of that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But for the longest time, I watched wrestling without sound. So it's okay. That's okay with me.
Christ.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Well, that's
do
the
that.
one thing that
Well,
hits me about the live
that's-
events
that's-
is because you can't hear the
But
live
that's
events.
what I'm saying.
my
Like
major
I
drawback
watch
to
New
that.
Japan because I can't speak Japan. I can speak Japanese. So
I can't speak Japan.
up.
I can't speak Japan either.
I can't speak,
Neither can
I
I.
can't speak Japanese. So I watched it silently. Like okay,
Yeah, all right, I get you.
I can just imagine what they're saying.
For me, it's it just now doesn't feel like NXT in a sense because NXT was almost like that little underground hidden gem that we all knew about. Now it's like it's mainstream. It's USA. It's now gonna be 2 hours now. It just feels like it's not gonna be the same. It'll still be great, but now it's gonna be a paradigm shift because it's not gonna be the same thing we're used to. Still gonna get the best wrestling in WWE. You're still gonna get great storytelling, but it's gonna be different. But in the long run, I think it'll be better in the next like maybe 3-4 years when Vince takes more of a step back and starts fully getting into the XFL. If it stays up more than one season, you'll see it become the main. Yeah, it'll become the main brand with Triple H getting his hands on it and it being successful because they've never made money with NXT. They've always lost money with it. So if they actually start doing this and making money, I think it'll really become
at
an
this
A
point.
show.
NXT has become the third brand. Like it's not a developmental anymore. It's an actual third brand that's competing with the other two shows.
In all honesty,
So, hold on, boy. Let me get in here real quick. So here's my thoughts as far as NXT goes. I'll be honest. When they went to USA, it was something that made me a little nervous. But here's my thing. I would argue that at this point, NXT has gotten to the point where it's gained enough buzz. And I say this from this standpoint. Like, okay, WrestleMania weekend, even though you had G1 Supercard and all that, which, don't get me wrong, it was a great show. Mm-hmm. NXT takeovers have consistently been great. Mm-hmm. One might not always add up to the last one, but they have never been bad. And here's the thing. For me, when it comes to commercials, I don't think the commercials are going to kill it, and here's why. Because they've already said that the commercials are going to be a limited commercial thing, which means you're not going to have a shit ton of commercials because they know that that's something that people were already talking about. So, number one, that's something...
Wait. Is that just this week, or is that...
No, they said... as far as I know, it's been said that that's supposed to be going forward, but I can't confirm or deny that. That from what I've read,
I
that's
thought
what.
that was just for this week since they're going head to head with.
Sure,
Dynamite
but very well could be. But I
time.
mean, think of it this way, though. Like you just said, they're going head to head with AEW, and that's going to be a weekly thing. And if they see that that's something that they need to do, I wouldn't put it past Vince or Triple H to say, "Hey, look, we need to make sure that we can compete." As far as
actually, that's on USA. Actually,
do that, man, because when the network is paying you, to
well, right, of course, but
broadcast, you can't just not have commercials.
well, no, I'm not saying they're not
but
going to have commercials, but I'm saying I don't think it's going to be as badly watered down. I think as people are maybe thinking it's going to be. I'm not saying you're not going to have commercials because you can't. Like we know better than anyone. Advertising. And while we're talking about advertising. If you're looking,
segue, sir.
While we're talking about advertising, I mean, let's talk about our sponsor, Matt Stransky, real quick. Matt Stransky has been helping us out, Stransky and Company Realty. If you're looking for a house, these are the guys to go to. They're the real estate easy button. You can find them at Stransky and Company on Twitter, Instagram. Email them at Stransky and admin at Stransky and Company. If you're looking for a house in the Berkeley area or anywhere in the Michigan area, man, I'm not just saying it because they're our sponsor. They really, if you go and look at their page and look at the type of houses that these guys are redoing and see what they look like before and what they got now, if you're trying to build a home for just you or if you're trying to build a family, I'm telling you, Matt Stransky is the way to go. Check them out, StranskyandCompany.com. Admin at Stransky and Company, as well as getting a hold of Matt Stransky himself. Like I said, Stransky and Company, real estate easy button.
Buy a house.
Yeah,
Go
buy
buy
a
a house.
fucking
Buy a
house.
house.
Everybody
Buy a
needs
fucking
somewhere to
house.
take a shit, all right? Anyways,
I prefer shitting at home than I do outside.
well,
so
that's
yeah,
why
so
I
that's
said,
why,
and they're redoing the bathroom.
That if you don't take anything else away from that plug, go see Strand Skin Company so you can get a good house to shit in.
Go find someone for your family.
No,
Stay.
but in all seriousness, man, like I said, they're putting out quality houses, man, and they've been supporting us. So do us a favor and support those who are supporting the show. If you're a fan of the show, support Strand Skin Company. That being said, I think
Good plug.
I think that. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. I feel like NXT has built themselves a good foundation at this point with the quality in which that they've put out leading up to this. And I think, me personally, maybe this is a little optimistic, but me personally, I think with the new added competition that you're going to have from an AEW and the fact that they're going head-to-head, I mean, let's face it. If anything has been proven in the short time that they've been doing what they're doing with AEW, Vince knows what's going on.
He's not scared.
He's not scared.
He
I don't
sees
think
them.
that. But
sees
he
them.
realizes that some things need to change. And if that's not evident by the Fiend Bray Wyatt or the fact that they finally changed the stage,
Paul E.
Paul E. and Eric Bischoff, past guest of the show, with having all these guys come in, and then like what they did on Raw, which we're about to get into in a little bit. I mean, if that's not showing you that at least giving you that little glimmer of hope that like, hey, they realize some things need to change, and you can see that there's going to be a little bit more edgy. I would say that you need to give NXT the same benefit of the doubt that we're going to have to give AEW, because until they're on TV, you really don't know what's going to happen. So I think we're going to have to let it play out. But me personally, I feel like NXT is still going to be the NXT that we remember it to be. Might be a little bit different, but that happens with everything.
It's more televised.
Right. And at the end of the day, ultimately, we all said that we love NXT. Well, now everybody's going to get to see the NXT that we've been talking about for years now.
We are NXT.
Like, do you remember? You remember when Raw had they first started going 3 hours, and they had that commercialist Raw?
Yeah.
I think I fell asleep on that show.
Yeah, there's a lot of super shows.
It's a-
People power. Yeah, that's not a good time to think about. But actually, talking about good times, we got an AEW.
Hold on. One more thing about NXT going to USA though. I need to say something. I'm a big fan of like then and now concept. Think about like what NXT was the last time it was on USA versus now that's gonna be coming to USA now. Before it was that like that
NXT was a game show.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was basically like that little doopy
Competition
little competition reality show or whatever you call it, where they
What is a
find
mustache?
little rookies, and now it's this big monstrous beast that can take on any of the other two brands. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like a good comparison.
I don't know that it's quite on a level to be competing with the other two yet. It's getting there.
It's going to compete with AEW.
It's going to,
I
but
take Adam Cole or Seth Rollins right now.
I'm not saying that I don't, but I'm saying you
Bye-bye.
gotta see how it's gonna grow with that too. But I think now we're on finally to a place where you can actually say, hey, NXT is a third brand because they're on a regular TV channel. It's not just on the network. And I think that's the biggest thing that people are missing with this. Oh my God, I don't want them to go to USA. By them doing that now makes them what everybody said they wanted for how long? Yeah. We have talked about it how many times on this show that we said that we wanted NXT to be taken more legitimately. Now it cannot not be taken legitimately because now it's not only on a main...
It's prime time now.
Right. That's my point. So, I mean, you can't... I mean, everybody said that's what they wanted. Now you're getting it. So let it play out and see what happens.
WWE 2K21 Raw versus SmackDown versus
my point
NXT.
is, like, look at what it was the last time on NXT when it was like a little game show compared to what it is now. It's a whole different beast.
Right. Of course. So now that we've talked about that, I think now is as good a time as any to talk about the new kid on the block.
KOTB.
Since I went last on the last one, I'll go first with this one. With AEW, with them going to TV. I'll be honest, I wasn't necessarily so excited about the name because to me it sounded too much like Nitro, and to me I would have wanted to stay as far away as I could from that, especially considering that it's on TNT.
TNT Dynamite.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that wasn't my favorite thing. But I will say the biggest thing I'm looking forward to as far as AEW is this is the first time in wrestling in a very long time where you can say you've legitimately got something new, that you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Yes, we've seen All Out. Yes, you've seen Double or Nothing. Yes, you've seen Fight for the Fallen, but those are all standalone shows. They have not done weekly TV, so you don't know how that's going to be formatted. You don't know if it's going to be edgy. You don't know if it's, we don't know. And to me, I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about with the whole thing, is that you don't fucking know what's going to happen. And I think that in and of itself, plus, I mean, think about it, dude. They're going on TV. This is going to be their debut episode. If you think that they're not going to pull out some kind of big surprises for that shit, you're a fucking dumb.
CM Punk.
That's not going to happen. Speaking, we'll have to talk about that too, considering some of the news that's swirled around with that. But for me,
that's coming.
For me, I'm excited about it, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm excited to see where they go with storylines and things like that, and see what rivalries and feuds kind of boil over. And honestly, one of the biggest ones I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. I'd like to see what the continuation of the Shawn Spears Cody thing is going to be, and I also want to see what's going to come of this whole thing with Hangman and Pac. Because when I was in Chicago, that's all anybody wanted to talk about. After the show was over, that's all anybody was talking about in the press, the post-show media scrums. So that, to me, I think are the things that I'm looking forward to most. We'll go with you next, Terrence. What do you think on AEW?
I'll admit, like you, I wasn't a fan of the name either. It was just too much of a parallel for me. But so far, yeah, I mean, it's a new thing. Like they're coming out, they're trying to compete with the NXT. So I'm just curious to see what they got. Right now they have Chris Jericho as champion. I mean, I don't know how long that's gonna last. But
Isn't there a championship?
Well, they ain't
match?
gonna just take the title off him right away if that's what you think.
Oh man, I don't. No, I don't think that. I mean,
if you don't lose it,
but
literally.
But yeah, like a few of my favorites from Impact have actually now gone over to AEW, including females like Allie. That's why I'm saying. That's why I don't watch Impact anymore, because all my favorites are gone to the WWE or now to AEW. So.
Yeah, you got to see the new crop, homie. I'm telling you.
Kev?
Right, but,
Kev, what about you?
I'm excited about it because this is the first time since the 90s I was like, I want to turn it to USA and I'm going to turn it to TNT.
Yeah, that
like,
flashback button.
Man, I'm going to have to hit the last, but I ain't hit it in a long time.
Man, 10:59.
I'm ready. I'm like, some of the matchups that they got they got shows lined up for weeks. So this first show, they got it's packed. Like, I know Devin wanted to see the private party. I already know.
You goddamn right.
How about you, Dev? What are your thoughts on AEW? The name Dynamite, and just you think they're gonna step out the gate and have some growing pains? They're gonna come out swinging?
Well, I'll take it a different direction, man. I think one thing that we as wrestling fans, we love to do is we love to make snap judgments. But what we got to realize is that, I think Kyle kind of touched on it a little bit, they've had, 4 shows so far? And this is their first time doing weekly episodic programming, man. So we got to kind of give it a little time before we, make a really snap judgment. Of course, you're going to say, whether that first show was good or not, but we got to give it a little bit of time to let them get their feet up on their own, let them start developing some storylines and let it go. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to give them a chance. But one problem that I can see with NXT is, compared to AEW, I'm used to watching NXT whenever I want to, on demand. And because of that, I'm probably going to keep doing that. So Wednesdays is probably going to be my AEW night, and then after that or the next day, I'll probably end up watching NXT. So I'm looking forward to seeing what those first week numbers are for both shows, and if the subscription, the network numbers are end up higher on the day after Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that goes back into like exactly what you were saying. I mean, the fact that they're new. Everybody's going to want to see what the hell are these guys going to do. Everybody knows NXT is going to be good. But obviously, I can't lie to you. I mean, me personally, I kind of want to see what AEW is almost going to do more than NXT, because I know NXT is going to be good.
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Right.
I'll jump in there. Yeah, that's my thing. I'm happy that we have AEW because it is something different. It's something new. It is giving wrestlers like I was always a big fan of Ty Dillinger, so seeing Sean Spears now in AEW, yeah, seeing him not being the butt of a joke now, being taken seriously. I've always said I've been a fan of Cody. I've been a fan of his since the moment I first saw him about 12 years ago. I think I saw Ohio Valley Wrestling like snippet, and I was just like, okay, Dusty's son, he's got it. So seeing this and seeing guys that get the business side, like there is sports entertainment and then there's wrestling, and these guys know wrestling. So I'm a little nervous that they are trying to wave WCW's flag a little bit, saying, hey, we're, just like WCW came out and was different, we're different. I kind of apprehensive because, for one, they're on the same network. They chose a similar name. You have a Rhodes in charge of pretty much the whole company, so it makes me a little nervous they're going to try to be a little too different too soon. I just want them to find their voice and not try to be anti-WWE so much that it just completely turns off all wrestling fans, kind of like TNA in, 2009. They tried to be so anti-WWE that it kind of just turned off real TNA fans.
Go ahead.
I'm excited about their tag team division. That's really
Thank you.
I'm so excited about their tag. Like the fact that they got LAX, the Lucha Brothers, Private Party, the Young Bucks, Dark Order, the
A lot
was
of
it
teams
Jungle
that
Boy,
used to be a part of Impact. Wow.
the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus, man, bro.
Luchasaurus, man, he's grown. He's grown on me.
I'm a big fan of Luchasaurus, dude. I don't know what it is, dude, but like whether it's the athletic, dude. When that big son of a bitch stepped on the fucking second rope with one foot and didn't even get on the top rope and fucking flipped over that bitch at a running start at that size, how the fuck are you not impressed by it?
And I don't remember him being in NXT. I don't.
He wasn't really.
But he was
probably,
there.
He was probably like the Derek Bateman version.
He was
there,
SCW.
but you ain't really see him. But yeah, it's a great time. I mean, and that's the thing. Just having them exist has made WWE change.
There's no arguing.
Just having that has made the wrestling landscape better. I mean, you have Ring of Honor now stepping their game up, making sure they're signing their talent to exclusive contract and making sure that they know they are now going to be a brand that's looked at also as, maybe you're not into the big production stuff. Well, you got Ring of Honor you can look at for that stuff if you want to have a real small indie feel. So it has completely changed the landscape. So I'm glad they're here, but I just don't want them to try to just.
They need
do
to
too
stick to
much.
what they said. They need to be focused on their own shit and not focused on trying to be too different from WWE. With that being said, are there any surprise show-ups that you guys foresee that we could maybe see?
Lex Luger in a puffy shirt.
You know what? I would not be surprised if there is some fan there in a puffy shirt just for that reference, just for smarts, just to get. I would not be surprised if the collar and elbow guy just had a puffy shirt. Just was there, just as a shout out.
Shout out to Kerry.
other than DDP, no.
I'd be really surprised if maybe Abyss showed up. Man.
Abyss is with WWE.
He's a backstage agent.
He's been
for
him and
WWE.
Sanjay Dutt have been
Almost a year now.
have been
And,
backstage agents
and
for
Hurricane Helms too.
Yeah.
They're all backstage talent now.
That is a waste.
what?
Really?
Why is that?
Do you have any
Backstage
idea how?
That
Dude,
guy.
Well,
Abyss
it's-
has been around since like
he
the
got-
'90s,
he got
dude.
wrestling mind though, man.
Early 90s.
You realize he was wrestling in Puerto Rico and everywhere else before he ever went to Impact.
He's a 30-year veteran. His days
Yeah,
are
like
behind him.
he was a Ring of Honor.
You
His
can't
days
have
are
him in the
behind
ring
him.
no more.
Yeah.
Not to mention he took a bunch of bad injuries at the end of his run with TNA, which is why they took him out of the ring.
True.
He's a great smart. Yeah, but the obvious one I want to see is CM Punk. As a CM Punk guy, I want to see him. But
I
other
gotta see
than
it.
that,
I don't see that happen.
I can't really say anything because the other big names you really would have wanted to see jump ship have all re-signed. Sasha Banks has re-signed. The club re-signed. Mike Kanellis re-signed. So, a lot of people you really would have wanted to jump ship and do that Lex Luger role, they all re-signed with WWE.
You know what? A week ago, I would have said John Morrison.
Man, that would have been so good.
That would have, man.
A week ago, I would have said John Morrison.
Johnny Elite.
Oh God.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Where do you see him going?
I want him to go on SmackDown because SmackDown will be the A show. I think him. Okay, just sidebar. I think they're gonna take the belt off Kofi.
No shit.
I then think they're gonna take the belt off of Brock. I don't think they're gonna do a whole Brock holds the title for a year. I think they're gonna put it on somebody else to shake it up. I would not be surprised if they try to make the guy's good looking. You can take him anywhere. He can talk. He can go on the Today Show. You don't got
and
Cena
he's a lot
anymore.
more mature than the last time he was there. Because
you
I mean,
need a
don't get
Cena.
me wrong, I'm a Morrison fan, but the way he handled not getting what he was supposed to that WrestleMania when they did all the stuff with the Snooki shit, once all the information came out about it, I couldn't even be mad at WWE for the way that they
and it's
reacted.
clear
because he did that, bro. He did that to himself. So
I will want him on SmackDown, but they're not gonna put him on SmackDown. They're gonna put him on Raw with Ricochet and Dolph Ziggler.
well, here's
Miz.
the wild card. I mean, they are talking about that KO and Cesaro might go to NXT. What makes John Morrison that much different? He never had a WWE title.
I would rather. I can see him going to NXT because you want more veterans there, but everybody.
I think for the shock value, he'll go to one of the two major brands, but at the same time,
I think the safe bet would be Raw, but I would rather see him on SmackDown. Well, that's the thing. This is all said before they have that actual draft, so we don't know who's going on what show again. But I wouldn't mind seeing him on because I'm thinking you can push him into the main event immediately. He's a guy that would be fine going on all the talk shows.
Put him in NXT.
Right, I agree. NXT would be a good move for him.
I can see that being the safe bet. But the thing is, remember we thought they were going to put not Ricochet. Bobby Lashley. We thought they were going to put him in NXT, and then he shot right to the
all
main
right,
event.
we totally got to talk about that. But Devin, what are your thoughts on John Morrison? Where do you think he's going, and what do you think about him coming back to WWE?
You may also know him as Johnny Mundo or Johnny Impact or
Johnny Nitro.
Or Spade.
Or Johnny kick him in the ding.
I'm hoping he goes to AEW. I think that would be a damn good, shocker for the first episode. I think once again, man, with WWE.
Wait a minute,
You signed to WWE.
Yeah, he's well, it's basically all confirmed. He's kind of disputed it on his Twitter, but was it Justin Verrasso? He said it. He signed with WWE.
So that is confirmed because the last time I heard it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah,
It's confirmed, but it's not confirmed.
It's soft confirmed.
There's still right
until it's confirmed. I want him to go to AEW. but no, the whole point is that WWE has so much talent, and they still got to figure out what to do with all of it. I'd rather him go somewhere where he can be the man than to be a mid-card guy. And he'll be there. He'll be hot for a second, but we all know how WWE is. After a while, they go back to their 5-6 main guys they keep in the rotation.
Remember EC3?
But real quick, man, one thing I want to bring up, I know we got to do our picks, but one thing I want to bring up real quick and get everybody's thoughts on is, what do you guys think about the announcers shake-up as far as Raw and SmackDown? Real quick, Monday Night Raw with Jerry Lawler and Dio and Big Joseph.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, man.
Yeah.
But I think
right now,
coming out the gate with that, I'm not sure if that was the right move.
Well, I like Big Joseph, but King they could have kept because
he's not gonna add. That's the thing. He's not. He was never a great color commentary guy.
What the fuck?
Okay, I disagree with that.
I
20 years ago, yeah, but after what? I'm not gonna say the heart attack really slowed him down, but he
was still throwing out the one-liners like he used.
But I'll tell you, with Dio, I liked him on 205.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure give him more time. He'll get more used to it, but he'll get better.
The rumor is they're training right now on main event Mickie James because she's got that ACL injury. She's gonna be out almost a year. They're training her as kind of a transition to go into that since they already got Renee on SmackDown. They're thinking about bringing another female in. I love Mickie, so I think that would be a great move. But how do you not bring Mauro up?
Because he was up already.
He's the best one they got.
I feel like Renee should have stayed on.
Better than Corey Graves.
Well, they're not going to bring Mauro up because his deal is basically he wants to be in one place because of his health challenges, his other commitments as far as boxing and MMA. He wants to be able to be in one place in the middle of the week so that he can travel to his other jobs.
Boxing and MMA.
I mean, personally, dude, I think Morrow's a perfect fit as far as NXT goes, just for the brand of wrestling that we see there. Personally, I'm cool with Morrow staying where it is because I feel like he's become like the staple of NXT at this point. So I don't have a problem with that. As far as Raw last night, I thought it was great to hear King back on commentary, especially like when the Becky Lynch thing happened and he's like, Becky, you promised me. You know, it still kind of had like that old school King thing, but kind of like the 2019 version of it, to where like we just acknowledged. I mean, let's face it, the man is a lot older than he used to be. But
No shit.
you know, I mean, I think that it might not be quite what you remember, but at the same time, I think that he'll be able to also help bring along somebody like a Vic Joseph or the Dio guy that they brought in yesterday. Personally, I still don't know how I feel about him yet, just because obviously with this being the first week, I need to hear more of how he's going to mesh, because in certain spots it almost kind of felt like to me like he kind of fell by the wayside to a degree. But I have to say, I have to give a lot of credit to Vic Joseph. I thought he really stepped up, and I thought he did a good job with that. With us not knowing who's going to be the ones for SmackDown yet, I'm interested to see what the shakeup's going to be. Clearly, we know Renee Young's going to be one of them. Corey Graves ain't going to go anywhere, so I wouldn't be shocked.
I heard Michael Cole was going to be on SmackDown.
I heard.
Well, I mean, that's not a big surprise. I mean, Michael
Yeah,
Cole.
it's basically the Raw team from before is on SmackDown now. That's basically
And
it.
to be-
Shake-up.
I would like to see Nigel on Raw too, though.
Yeah.
He'll get some good insight being a former wrestler himself.
Yeah.
I agree, but also I think Nigel has almost kind of become in that Morrow role too, where he's become like that voice of NXT once Corey left.
NXT and NXT.
Right,
UK.
exactly.
He is
So
the
I
voice
kind
of
of feel
NXT,
like
okay.
since you're starting to move some of them around, I also kind of think that that's a smart way to. I think that that's a smart way to go and take, what you've already built, and then be able to keep at least a staple on each one. Because like if you think about it, Corey Graves had not arguably, he had become the voice of WWE pretty much. So you have to keep him on one of the main shows. So by moving them over there, I don't think that's a bad move. As far as what they've done on Raw so far, I think Vic Joseph did great. I think King did great. I think Dio is going to need some more reps before we can really hold the jury out on him. But we're going to I'll go real quickly through this because like Devin said, we need to get to our picks for Hell in a Cell. But I have to say, overall, I thought that the season premiere of Raw wasn't that bad, dude.
Up until the last 15 minutes.
I liked that. I mean, the way they ended it was fine with me.
Yeah.
I loved the new stage because I've been saying for years that even if it may not have been my favorite design, I'm just glad they fucking made it different.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. You have to
Honestly,
make it
like
different
that's
now.
the thing.
Right.
It might not have been maybe what I would have hoped to see,
But it's
but
different.
at least they did something.
You'll
At
get
least
used to
they
seeing that.
right.
Mm-hmm.
At least they changed the graphic. At least they changed the song. At least they changed the look of it, which
Man.
we've said multiple times on this
It
show.
don't take much.
And let's talk about the return of Pyro.
Oh man.
Oh my
man.
God.
man.
Dude, as soon as Brock came out, I'm like, holy shit, there's
And
pyro.
that's the thing. Some people's entrances just need power. Seeing Brock do that and not having that pyro, it's
It's
just
retarded.
it just and then imagine seeing that with no sound either. You just see him flexing like that. He looks stupid as shit. Having that pyro there, it just adds that extra.
And I'm just waiting for
Extra
him to.
effort.
Right.
I'm just waiting for him to hop on the ring and then pop.
That's
And
the one I love.
Can
That's
I
the
just
one
say
love.
that, like, look, I kind of figured when he looked at Dominic like that, I'm like, okay, he's going to get involved with Dominic. But I did not.
kid can bump?
He beat the fuck
Kid
out of
can-
that kid.
Kid can bump.
Hot damn, when he threw him
Yeah,
out the
Daddy
ring
son.
at the end like that, dude.
How you guys feel about Bobby Lashley and Lana?
That shocked the fuck out of me.
That's some
Yeah,
Paul
dude.
Heyman shit.
I
Right
don't-
That shocked
I
the
don't-
fuck
I don't-
out of me.
I don't like that because I feel like Vince McMahon. Look, the dude was married.
You know, I'm not going to lie. They're both married.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
think about
both
it. This.
married, yeah.
This is a cockhold story from a cockhold story. It started with Mike and Maria Kanellis, and now that has morphed into Lana, Rusev, and Bobby Lashley. Like, you're literally doing the same story 4 weeks later with no payoff, and you're buried. I'm not gonna say buried, but you're Mike resigns, and you do him dirty. Now Rusev comes back.
They definitely burying Mike Kanellis.
And you know why, too?
I don't even want to call him Mike Kanellis.
Yeah, I know.
I want to call him what he did.
But you know why?
Right.
Because they re-signed and then told him Maria was pregnant. They didn't know Maria was pregnant until after they re-signed, and this is their punishment. And then you finally bring Rusev back.
So what's EC3's punishment?
Vince don't like his face. That's what they said. Vince don't like his face.
Here's the thing, though. Like, WWE is known for repetitive things. Like, think about when Absolution came out. That they were good, but then at the same time on SmackDown, they had a
Riot Squad.
It's like
Poor Liv Morgan.
Right, I didn't get that. It's like Absolution made some sense, but then Riot Squad was just this pale copy. I was like, what is going on?
I have to say, at least for the first time in a while, they did a good job of sticking to the storylines. Because even if you say you didn't like the ending, Kyle, you can't argue the fact that at least they stayed cohesive to where Bray came out to fuck up Seth, and Rusev got his with the Bobby Lashley.
The Fiend stuff is the best thing they've done in years. But the stuff they're doing with the Kanellis and Rusev, Lana, now adding Bobby Lashley.
I'm not gonna lie, that shit shocked the hell out of me.
That shit is just that to me they're missing on
Devin,
that.
Devin, what did you think?
I thought Raw was okay. They had a couple good things on there, man. Like you said, the Brock Lesnar thing was great. Fiend is always great. Firefly Funhouse is what I look forward to the most, man. But I don't know. I guess I'm gonna wait and see where they're going with this Bobby Lashley, Mike Kanellis thing. I'm gonna hold judgment on that.
It's gonna be a pre-show triple threat, in 2 months.
Speaking
No, Bobby, he's just going to team player. That's all that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I love how they're doing a 5-on-5 match right before the pay-per-view. That's whole gimmick is a 5-on-5 elimination match. Like,
right before Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's great. That's like having the
all right. So we got to get to our picks. We got to cut. We got to cut the bullshit.
Fuck you, get the picks out there.
Well, we have
It's
to.
not touching
I just
my
looked
phone.
at. I looked at. We got about 15 minutes left, and we got a whole card to go through.
Go to the card.
So, all right. I've got the article I've got pulled up is via CBS, so they don't have all of the matches up there, but we've kind of been able to fill in some of the blanks.
Card subject to change.
Yeah, right. So we'll start from what they've got first. The first match they've got on there is the WWE Championship. We don't know what that match is going to be yet. Obviously, we have to wait until SmackDown comes. So
Poor Kofi.
everybody just give a quick thought on who you think it's going to be, and do you think Kofi or Brock is going to walk in with the title to some Hell in a Cell?
I think Kofi will walk into it. I'm gonna tell you why.
You think he's going to beat Brock?
I'm gonna tell you why. Rey Mysterio gotta get his revenge. So for some reason
That quick after though?
I'm saying Rey Mysterio is not hurt. His son is.
He took a
Dominic was the one that took out in the
Yeah,
stretcher.
yeah, he got the one that took out on the stretcher.
Poor Eddie's son.
Shut up.
That was still one of my favorite storylines.
Oh my God.
Always.
Oh my God. But no, look. So Rey Mysterio can cost Brock the title.
I can see that.
Okay, so who do you think is going to be the match then?
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, he going to Raw.
You mean SmackDown?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle. Who do you think walks in with it, and what do you think the match ends up being?
Brock versus Roman.
I could see that.
I don't want to see that again.
Terrence?
New show.
I
Put
think,
it on Roman.
I think Brock is gonna walk in with it because I think that Brock is like their go-to monster guy to make him like seem unstoppable, like and have someone beat him to make them look good. That's just
Okay.
the way,
I hear he's a beast.
Devin?
Hey, Kyle, real quick, man, on that CBS article, man, how many matches do they have confirmed for Hell in a Cell?
So they don't have the WWE Championship match. You've got the SmackDown Women's Championship match, SmackDown Tag Title match, Intercontinental Championship match, Cruiserweight Championship
title?
match. Yeah, they don't have them all.
Who the
on
hell is
here
the
either.
Intercontinental Champion?
Shinsuke.
Oh, yeah.
Shinsuke.
I almost forgot.
Damn.
And then obviously you've got Bray and
Boring. I mean, Seth.
yeah, you've got Bray and Seth. You've got Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
Isn't it this weekend?
crazy stuff.
Yeah, it is. So
It is. We're doing a party.
yeah,
Good
I know.
segue, Kev.
So,
If you need somewhere to
Wait.
watch that motherfucker, we are going to be teaming up with the boys from Breaking Down the Ring. We will be live and in person at the B-Dubs downtown, right by the old Shillelagh. We're going to be doing a viewing party.
Downtown
Come out and
Detroit.
check that shit out.
Don't go downtown Riverview. We're in downtown Detroit.
Right.
You really accentuate your cuss words.
Check my
too.
schedule that day.
Oh yeah. Come out. It's live. Everybody from the Reality Air News page be there.
Basically.
What else is next?
But
Wait.
real quick, like, would you say that this is like Hell in a Cell is gonna be a SmackDown heavy pay per view?
Yes.
I would say that's probably a good bet.
Okay, because I just felt like I'm thinking about it. Like Monday Night Raw really didn't set much up for the pay per view. Like,
Except
it was
Becky and
basically all
Sasha.
just, like fleshing out same shit. So
Becky, Sasha, Fiend.
yeah, but yeah, Kobe losing them shit.
How did y'all feel about Sasha coming back as a heel anyway?
I have no problem with it. She's
Perfect.
better as a heel.
That's one of the few times they've actually let somebody come back
And
and,
the fact-
actually do that right, because they messed it up with Seth, and they messed it up with who was it that came back from injury, and they should
Dean Ambrose.
Dean. Yeah, they had Dean come back as a face, should have came back as heel. They had Seth come back as a heel, should have came back as a face. So bringing her back as a heel, which she's better as, that's good.
I think that's the best move for her.
When she pulled out the rig and it was blue, I was
I
like,
like
well,
her either
Snoop Bear's
way.
our cousin.
Yeah.
I said, Snoop Bear's our cousin. So.
All right. So the next match that we've got that's actually announced, you've got Bayley versus Charlotte.
meh,
Oh yeah.
meh.
How y'all feel about that? Her turning.
I'm so sick of.
I have no problem with it, and I think
I'm
Bayley
about
should.
time.
I think Bayley. It's about time to give her a little bit of edge because I think. You know, Becky and Charlotte on one hand,
I'm
and
so
you-
sick of Charlotte, man. I honestly don't care about this match because of Charlotte. I cannot.
who the
stand
fuck
her.
else are you going to put in that match that makes
Right.
sense?
And-
Asuka is not built.
Honestly,
Build somebody up. Build Naomi up. Build Asuka.
Naomi
build
hasn't even been on TV.
Build Kyrie.
Exactly.
Build Kyrie
That's the
Sane.
point.
Build
I'm not
somebody
arguing
else.
that
Build
fact.
Bring
somebody
Nia back.
else.
Fuck that.
Anybody but Charlotte.
Bring Nia back.
She is now the female Cena. Anybody but Charlotte. ABC.
Man, where's Tamina?
Tamina was injured.
Yeah, she's injured. But shit, anybody else? I'd rather see Bayley versus Tamina. I would rather pay money to see that match. Anyway.
These Fox.
All right, Devin, who you got?
Oh, yeah. Best Northern Light suplex in the business.
Yeah, it's one of those like Charlotte's starting to become John Cena to me, man. So I'm not betting against her. I'm going with Charlotte.
But
Kev.
It's kind of like why she was the one
No.
chosen to fight Trish Stratus as like that whole generation.
No,
better.
stop.
Fuck you,
Iconic
Travis.
Charlotte.
could get that
All
shit
right,
out fast.
you're going Charlotte. Kyle, who you got?
Speed, my bad.
You know what? I'd love to go Bailey. I want if I have to watch this match, I'd rather Bailey win, and I hope she cheats too.
Terrence.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I had to go with Bailey too.
All right, I think Bailey's keeping the title. I think that they're going to really finally do something with the 4 horsewomen thing, which I had hoped from jump that they were going to do, whether that be them
now?
fighting together or whatever. I think it's the beginning of it. I don't think that it's going to happen right out of here, but I think you're going to get the classic, look, I don't like you, but we need to straighten it out, and I think eventually
Think about it. It's been going on 2 years
Right,
now.
and
since
really-
they had that tease for the 4 horsewomen
right,
versus
and that's what I'm
horsewomen.
saying.
Yeah.
And that part I will say I liked because I liked the fact that they didn't do that right off the rip. I don't know if that's where they're going to go with it because this is WWE we're
Kyle,
talking about.
From a guy that just watched them wrestle, that match is about a good year away, brother.
Yo, Shakira.
All right.
That's
So-
about a year away, brother.
As far as picks, I think Bayley's going to keep the title. I think somehow Sasha's going to screw Charlotte over, and it'll further push that.
Sasha.
I not Sasha. That's not what I meant. I meant
Was-
to say.
I was about to say, I don't wanna see that
think,
shit
I
again.
think Sasha is gonna, screw over, Charlotte somehow, which will further the thing with Becky and Charlotte versus the other two. The next match that they've got on the article, you got SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You got the Revival versus the New Day.
Revival.
Okay,
Pre-show.
Yeah.
that's gonna be a good match though.
How many times the Usos put on a good match on pre-show?
3 years
New
straight.
Day. Yeah.
How many?
Where's the Usos been?
They
Rumor has it they're supposed to come back in SmackDown. We just got to keep Jimmy out of a DUI tank.
Yeah, just keep
Keep him out of Detroit.
Yeah, I was about to say, keep him out of downtown Detroit, and the careers will be all right.
Who you got?
I mean, I want to go with the Revival. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna
Yeah,
be
well,
mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little tired of the New Day. I'm not gonna lie.
So I think Revival's going to win. I think that, like you said, I mean,
Is anybody writing this shit down?
Nope,
Kevin,
we don't need to.
Kevin, this is your thing. Write them shit down.
No,
it's all-
that's a different thing.
we'll get it taken care of, and if you show up this Sunday, you'll be able to see all of our picks.
Except them.
SmackDown, the SmackDown tag titles. I mean, I think the Revival's going to hold on to it, but shout out to Kel and Andreas. How about fucking linking it up to where Big E came out and didn't? It's the two-time champ Sean Porter over here with Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford. That's pretty dope. Shout out to Andreas for setting that up so that he could come out and do the New Day entrance for Sean Porter. That's pretty fucking dope. I'm gonna go with the Revival on that one. Next match we've got on the card. I don't really give a fuck about this match, so I'll go first.
You actually said that?
Intercontinental Championship match. You got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ali. To me, this is kind of thrown together.
Ali, he's bad.
I like Ali a lot, and I've been wanting to see him get a shot for a while. I don't know that I think this is it, but I'm going to go wild card. I think Ali's going to take the title.
Yeah, Ali too.
Remember when they pushed Ali for 2 weeks? And remember when they pushed Cedric Alexander for 2 weeks?
He also broke it.
Hey,
But here's-
Cedric might actually beat AJ.
Cedric's been getting a little bit of a push because he's been working with AEW, or not AEW, excuse
AJ.
me. I misspoke. I meant to say AJ, and I don't know what the fuck happened. Anyways, and Ali broke his fucking face right in the middle of this push.
After that.
I missed the fact of the matter that the club had a new theme last week.
Yeah, that was sad.
And I said, hell, that's not Omen. Or,
Yeah,
like,
that was
oh.
a great theme song. That was a great theme song.
Maybe you say AEW because maybe Ali sounds kind of like Ali. Is you an Ali fan or something?
We all know you are because you're grinning ear to ear in this motherfucker. If you're watching the camera, this dude, as soon as you mention Ali, perked up like a kid on the first day of school.
Like Devin the Cure Hogan.
Ooh.
Hey-oh.
Yeah, he ain't got shot with her no more, though. Fuck it. Go Ali.
Devin, who you got and why?
Honestly, I don't care, man.
Ain't that a shame when that's the IC belt when we say that?
Okay, then
I don't care either.
Then Sami Zayn's gonna win.
I would putting the belt on him. I wouldn't be mad at that.
He is spokesperson, I guess.
Yeah, it's the best thing you can do with him. Yeah. What's the next match?
I'll say Shinsuke just because I like him more. But I don't give that much of that.
A match that, even though I think a lot of people aren't going to give a fuck about, I know most of us on this show are going to be more excited about it, especially after the debut episode of NXT. You've got Drew Gulak defending the Cruiserweight title against Lio Rush. I think it's going to be fucking great.
Man of the hour.
Good.
The man of the hour. Yes.
I'm with my boy Leo, man.
Man, I'm with Leo too.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna win, but I want to
He
win.
ain't gonna win. He ain't gonna win, but
Fuck it.
I was just about to say, I'm about to go with Drew.
All right, he's going Drew. I'm going Leo. Who do you got?
Leo.
All right, what do you got, Devin?
Wait, are we talking about the pre-show championship match? I'm going with Leo Rush.
All right. So
we know this is the pre-show championship. We know it.
So here's one that I want to hear a little bit of your thoughts as far as the build up to it too. You've got Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
I don't care about this.
I'm happy.
I don't care about it because the way they put them together, I'm like, dog.
But think about it. The best thing they did was have Luke Harper hide and nobody make a pop before he came out.
Nobody's seen him though.
Before he came out and kicked Roman.
I remember when I first thought this was potentially going to happen. I was like, sounds lame.
Because what was the point of putting him with Daniel Bryan? Because we didn't know Luke Harper was coming back.
No,
nobody
I
knew.
didn't think that was happening.
But
I'm happy.
I want to see Luke Harper as a solo wrestler.
See, I say that, but to be honest with you, dude,
You want
I
him on
think
TV.
no, I think it was well done only for the fact that, especially with everybody and their mom speculating, oh my God, they're holding on to him so that he doesn't go to AEW, and then he just shows up and fucks shit up and immediately gets put into a story with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, which, regardless of what you want to say about either one, are two of the company's top stars. So
Right.
I like it, and I like the fact that they've actually given Rowan a fucking voice.
Yeah.
Because for years we've heard how smart he is, and if you actually listen to the guy talk,
He's intelligent.
Oh yeah.
the guy is fucking intellectual. So to me, It might not be my favorite match on the card, but I have to say I like it just for the fact that it's something different. And I love the fact that they didn't fucking allude to the Wyatt family. Thank God.
Right.
For some reason, I see Daniel Bryan turning on
with all that being said, with all that being said, they're gonna lose. Be wrestling right on the Hawkins in 2 weeks.
Hey, so what y'all? How y'all feel about how they've been using Roman since he came back from his
I hate
blood
it.
cancer?
I was never a big Roman fan. Like I've always said, I like Joe Anoa'i. Roman Reigns, I ain't like that motherfucker for about 3 years now. He was overpushed. He wasn't.
But can
he
you
wasn't
say
good.
he's
But-
being overpushed now?
but no, let me finish. So now, since he's come back, I actually kind of feel sorry for his ass. I think he deserves better than what he has gotten since he got back. I actually think they are not playing up to his strengths.
See, but think about that. Like they put him on SmackDown, but he was barely on SmackDown. He's more still on Raw more than SmackDown still.
And then he didn't have a real feud because he was feuding with the Omni Shane, who was feuding with everybody on every brand.
But he was feuding with Drew McIntyre for the longest.
All right.
Everybody.
I got to jump in here just because we're running super short on time. What are your guys' overall thoughts on the biggest match of the card? You got Seth Rollins, you got The Fiend.
You didn't even talk about the real match. Sasha versus the Man.
Right,
That's
we've
the
got
match.
that too. So we're gonna, since I just said about the Seth match, we got to go through it quick just because we're running short on time. I think, like we've all alluded to, I think we're all on the same accord. I think The Fiend is the best thing they got going.
Yes.
I think they're gonna end up doing some crazy shit with Bray Wyatt, considering it's a Hell in a Cell match. So
Right.
I'm really looking forward to see what they're gonna do with it.
God, I hope they don't fuck it up.
I'm gonna call it right now. I think The Fiend's taking the belt. Kev, what do you got?
I
Keep
hope
it
he
quick.
does. I hope he does.
I
Fiend.
had to go with that too. I think the Fiend.
Okay.
I honestly, I don't know what I'd do if they actually put the belt on him.
I'm
I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna say the Fiend.
You know what? I was happy
Devin?
the first time.
Oh God, yeah.
Demon Finn Balor comes back across the team.
Man,
That makes
A little
sense.
All right, and last but not least, again, it's got to be quick. You got
That's what she
Becky.
said.
You got Becky versus Sasha. I think they've done an okay job of building.
I don't get no time with Sasha and Becky. Damn, I gotta. Okay.
We're running. I didn't realize we were running
Sasha
that,
or
that
Becky,
low.
who you choose?
So who you got?
The Man.
Okay,
Fuck outta
Becky. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Becky too.
Who you got?
Sasha.
I'll be fine either way though.
Devin. Who you got and why?
Sasha just because.
This her third, fourth match, so she got to win.
Personally, man, I think it's a good job that they put. I think it's a good thing that they made Sasha heel again. I think overall, I think she's better as a heel. As far as the match itself, I like the fact that they've used Bayley to kind of do the heel thing and kind of get in the way. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be one of the better matches on the show because I think they both have something to prove. Because people are saying that Becky's losing steam and Sasha wants to get her shit back. I think it could I think it could steal the show because they both have something to prove.
I think that
If-
Becky would. I think the reason I picked Becky is because she has to have a credible win.
Right. And for me,
Lacey Evans.
agree.
Lacey Evans. That's not a credible.
I think Becky's keeping the title, but I would say that I think that this is going to be a sleeper match. With all that being said, you've heard our picks. You've heard what the fuck we think with what's going on. Feel free to hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Let us know your picks and who you think it's going to be. And if you're not doing anything this Sunday, come downtown Detroit. We got out on Randolph Street. That's where it's at.
Yes. Yes.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Good
We're
job
going to
for
be
the
there
guy
with the
we
boys from Breaking Down the Ring.
What up,
There's-
Mikey? Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Smitty, I kicked your ass in fantasy this week, motherfucker.
Yeah, so we're
Sex
not,
for Bob's.
right. So
Sex Bob, baby.
make sure you're watching out, man. Come kick it with your boys from Knockouts and 3 Counts and Breaking Down the Ring. Be there this weekend. Shout out to our sponsors again at Stransky and Company. Make sure you're following the show at
Get a house to shit
KO3C
in.
Pod and knockoutsan3counts.com.
Our intro music is More by Punch Deck.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And follow What Kind of Podcast Is This everywhere where podcasts are.
And look out for 10 for the win.
And buy a house.